with this. So today we are starting the new unit, which is called Working in General Practice. This is unit 2, and I hope that so we can see it. Well, and let us do it one more time. Yes, like this. Can you see the presentation full screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes? Any questions? No? I mean that first I would like to say some words about your previous home assignment, which was to complete the exercises. Yes, a couple of exercises. And so the first one in the instructions to the first exercise, it says complete the sentences with the present simple or present continuous forms of the verbs in brackets. So only these two forms should be used in the sentences. And so here are some sentences from the students' papers. And you can see the first sentence the student has written. These days, most children are having too many fizzy drinks. So I mean that, first of all, we don't use the verb to have in the continuous form. We were speaking about this at our previous class. So the use of have is restricted to the meaning have a shower, have breakfast, for example. In the meaning of possession, we do not use it. That is why, so it's better to use the verb have in the present simple tense. So, and these days also shows, this phrase shows that it happens regularly. So present simple is better here. So as for these sentences, so we didn't get takeaway pizzas during the week. So the student used past simple, it should be present, continuous or simple. So it's better to use we don't get takeaway pizzas during the week. And instead of what did your mother make, it smells great. So if you would like to express the idea that your mother has done something, it should be perfect, not past simple. But here we should use the present tense, which is what is your mother making? It smells great. This is the process of making something, just cake, for example. It should be present continuous. So one more sentence, the diet in my country got worse. So got, we should if we use past simple, it means we should show when it happened. There is no information about this. So there are two possible options here. The diet in my country is getting worse. It's better because it's in the process, or the diet in my country gets worse every day. So these are the correct options. And so the second exercise was about the use of present perfect or present perfect continuous. And here is the example. We have been knowing each other since we were children. Know is the word which is not used in continuous form. That is why it's better to say we have known each other since we were children. This is just present perfect. Then, does your sister have had that hairstyle for a long time? So just the student wanted to use present perfect, but when we make up a question, we should use have or has at the beginning of the sentence. That is why it's better, has your sister had that hairstyle for a long time? And the last sentence here, I've been loving her since the first day we met. This is also about the restriction in the use of love. We shouldn't use it in continuous form. That is why it's better to use I have loved her since the first day we met. And 2 more sentences. So some of the students have written, my internet connection haven't worked since yesterday. It's okay with the use of present perfect, but don't forget that internet connection can be replaced with the pronoun it. And in this case, we need to change the form of have, hasn't worked. So the other students has written, my internet connection has not worked since yesterday. Okay, yes, this is like present perfect, but it's better to use present perfect continuous because we just emphasize that it took just a very long period of time since yesterday. It's better to use hasn't been working. Well, do you have questions about the home assignment? Hello?
No questions.
No questions, okay. Let us turn to our culture projects that you've prepared for today. So, and the first is, so the project body language in your culture. So number 1, and Ahmed, who was
that team number 1?
Who are the members of this team?
Let me see. Ezguner, Naime, Mustafa, and there was another student. I don't know his name. I don't think he's present. Oh, Efeseren, sorry.
Ceren?
Yes.
So Ezginur, Mustafa, who else?
Efeseren.
Naime.
Your name, will you repeat, please? So I have written Ezginur, then Mustafa, then Ceren. Who else?
Naime.
Naime Berra.
Bere, yes?
Yes.
Okay, 4 students, am I right?
Right.
Okay, so what should we do? It means that you've prepared a presentation and I need to give you the, allow you to share the screen, right? Now you can do this. Hello?
Doctor, I have a question regarding the project number 3. Since Businur can't enter and she's with us in the team, should we proceed with the presentation or wait for the next seminar lesson?
Who? Buse, yes?
Yeah, in team 3.
And what do you think is better? Did did Buse take part in the preparation of the presentation?
Yeah, team. Like each one of us has a part to talk about.
Maybe we can just, yes, postpone the presentation for the next week. Yeah.
I think it's better so she could like take her mark too and participate with us.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, welcome. Now, please.
Non-verbal communication includes forms of transmission expressed through gestures, facial expressions, or other non-linguistic signs other than spoken language. An important part of daily communication is based on nonverbal communication. The transmission of information in nonverbal communication may vary depending on culture as well as depending on gender. Basically, nonverbal communication is based on two channels: a visible channel, gestures, facial expressions, body posture, and quasi-linguistic tone of voice, instantity, speed is named. Nonverbal communication is the act of communicating a thought, feeling, or idea through physical movements, postures, and facial expressions. A study conducted at the University of California, Los Angeles found that only 7% of any message was verbal, with the majority of communication nonverbal, in posture and gesture often conversial.
Nonverbal communication plays an important role in our lives, as it can impair a person's ability interact and have meaningful interaction in everyday life. A better understanding of this type of communication can lead people to develop stronger relationship with others. Non-verbal communication, often referred to as body language, can take many forms and important in a variety of ways by different people, especially as ours cultures. Even the absence of such non-verbal cues can be meaningful and itself a form of non-verbal communication. Body behaviors like posture, body movements, gestures, eye behaviors. Does he make up eye contact? What are you to situations when he loves his eyes? Does the history? Facial expression that convey universal emotions such as smiling, padding, distorting, contact, sneer. Physiological contraction, respiratory expiration, flution, skin discoloration, physical characteristics. Does he stand strong? His weight, how much he cares about his health, what is the skin color? Our area. Does the therapist sit close or far away? General appearance. How is the dress? Is there any relation symbolically in his clothing? Is his clothes dirty or clean? How is the personal care? Is he working makeup? It's the tattoo piercing. Is there any artistic?
Physical contact. Turks are generally quite open, textile of people. It is common for friends of the same gender to kiss during greetings or hug one another. People are generally accustomed to seeing open affection between couples or children in public. However, physical contact between unrelated members of the opposite gender is less um, appropriate. Some Turks may comfortable with it, although others may avoid it altogether. After the first handshake, a man and woman are unlikely to touch unless he is giving her physical assistance. For example, offering his hand to steady her or escort her somewhere. The natural distance that people tend to keep between one another is closer than what is common in many Western countries. For example, tables may be placed quite close to each other in a restaurant. If a Turk inadvertently stands or sits within your personal space, avoid stepping back or moving away, as this may give the wrong impression. Direct eye contact is expected throughout conversation. It conveys attentiveness and sincerity. Staring is not necessarily considered impolite. Turks tend to hold the other person's gaze for prolonged amount of time during serious conversation. However, devout Muslims may divert their gaze away from those of the opposite gender out of modesty. Women may also avoid eye contact with unknown men to avoid unwanted harassment. The informal way to say no in Turkey is to raise the eyebrows, look up and make a or to think sound. This is not considered rude or any expression of annoyance. Turks may shake their heads to say, please explain, I don't understand. Therefore, consider that shaking one's head doesn't necessarily indicate of refusal or disapproval and might cause a person to repeat themselves to you instead. Avoid standing with your hands on your hips or in your pockets, especially when talking to those of a higher status or older than yourself. It is polite to beckon by facing the palm of one's hand towards the ground and making a scooping motion. Some Turks may give the impression of having a more serious demeanor, smiling less frequently in public during first interaction with strangers. This is not thought to be rude, rather the social expectation and in that the Western tendency to automatically smile a lot can be thought of as somewhat insidious. Furthermore, consider that smiling casually while passing a stranger can be misinterpreted as suggestive and catcalls for women. It is considered rude to show or expose the soles of your feet to other people. Avoid pointing your feet towards other people when sitting down or crossing your legs around.
Uh, Non-verbal communication other than medical area is hospitality and retail. In hospitality, it can be extremely important to note how you talk to customers and how you treat them while assisting them or serving them. If you have conversations with customer using a sarcastic tone, have intimidating energy, or give an eye roll to something they do or ask for, it can negatively impact the immediate relationship that you have with the customer. On the other hand, comforting someone with the sympathetic smile, if they have a problem with your service or products, could change their behavioral pattern in the future, making it easier to deal with their frustration and problems. In this way, nonverbal communication skills require more than just an understanding of words and empathy. Rather, it is assessing a person's emotional state based on their actions, tone, and expressions. Having non-verbal communication skills are important in these careers, but they can also be great skills to have across all industries to ensure that your coworkers and clients are being cared for effectively. Salespeople. Salespeople often need to have strong non-verbal communication skills in order to close a sale or get a client to make that final push. In this industry, salespeople need to be malleable and understand what their customers and clients are looking for on a daily basis. The ability to read someone's nonverbal cues is crucial, as salespeople must make distinctions between when a client needs time to think or when a customer is interested in a product and close to sale. By being able to nonverbally communicate with clients and customers, salespeople can create trust, build relationship, and close more deals, which yields better results in the long run. Teachers also need strong nonverbal communication skills in order to be effective educators. A good teacher can see when a student is lost or confused and help them through it in subtle yet effective way, as to not make the student feel like they are falling behind. Nonverbal communication is great skill to assist teachers in recognizing when a student is in need of help with their studies in the classroom or even outside the classroom. By having these skills, teachers can also identify when students are bored or uninterested in the lesson, which can be key when trying to keep students engaged with new learning materials and keeping lessons fun. Thank you for listening.
So is this the end?
Yes.
Mhm. Okay, and I would like you to have a look at the slide that just shows some criteria for evaluating group presentations. And so I would like you to say some words about the content. So you should answer the question whether the presentation was it informative and interesting about organization, about how material is organized. Is it organized logically? About delivery. Are the speakers talking about the slides rather than simply reading them to the audience? And about visuals. Do the visuals help illustrate the important points? And do visuals use keywords or graphs instead of sentences? So who would like to say some words about how you like this presentation? Ahmet, will you start, please?
I found the presentation informative because of the illustrations that they had, which furthermore enhanced their point by showing us visual images so we can understand it better. And they used language that we can relate to, like giving us day-to-day examples, like how you're going to see this type of body language in the real world, which I found interesting and informative. And I found the delivery more informative as well.
Okay. What would you recommend to the speakers just to improve the presentation if they have the task to work with presentations in future, for example?
In the future, I would think like have more in like I don't really know what to say, but like delivery, maybe like a better delivery or something like that.
Okay. Thank you so much. Does anyone else would like would anyone else like to say something? No. So I should say, I mean that I agree with Ahmet that the material that you found is rather informative and just detailed. So about the meaning of postures and face expression, about the where the body language, which spheres it's important. It's very interesting to listen to. So about the information about the peculiarities of body language and manners in the Turkish culture is also very interesting for me personally. As for the design, for example, of the presentation, I like it because it's beautiful and just there are pictures and so it looks professional. So Ala is joining us. And I would just say some recommendations. When you have found the information somewhere on the internet and you want to say about this, you want to share with the audience, so you should think about how to organize this information, how to put this information on the slides. You shouldn't just copy paste the text on the slides. You should think of the key phrases, just key phrases that you should place on the slide, and you should just speak about this. You should keep in mind the full sentences, but not the whole text. You shouldn't do like this, and you shouldn't just read from the screen, because I guess this is the material that you've found yourself, and you have read it beforehand, and trust your memory. You can remember this information. You should speak, not just to read word by word. And because when you read, so the voices are monotonous, so they are not emotional. So it's like just it's not just. And as you see, there is too much text on the slides, and the recommendation that just visuals should be more relevant. For example, if you just speak about the Turkish culture, you should just find some pictures that illustrate this idea, or so show the pictures with their peculiar gestures. The visuals should help us understand what you are speaking about. So these are just the main like comments. So, and well, thank you for the presentation. And the next.
And thank you for review, and thank you, Ahmet.
So the next presentation, Ahmet, who
Junaid.
is in group 2.
After the meeting is going to end now.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
You're going to have to start a new meeting. But the people in our group is me, Marwan Al-Shater, and Mohammed Wahish.
Ahmet, then Marwan.
Marwan and Mohammed Wahish.
Uh, 3 students, right?
Yes.
And this is about the patient-centered approach in history taking. Well, yes, we should just pause our class because we have only 1 minute left.